Sorry. Welcome in. Just started. You guys come on in here and hang out. Get in the comments. Where are you from? Are you in recovery? When's your clean date? Actually, at Co-Create Oneness, we celebrate our... we don't celebrate a clean date. We celebrate the moment of our recovery. So the end of recovery is what we celebrate. When we are recovered. Thanks. Thanks for saying hi. Shit, you know what I forgot? I forgot to put my contacts in, so I'm not squinting. Give me literally 2 minutes. Everybody's coming in. I encourage you guys to stick around because we're going to do a group study of the Kabbalion, which is the 7 Hermetic Principles. It's a book by the 3 Initiates. And through the understanding of it together as a group, we will understand together what the 12 steps are doing. They're using Hermetic principles against us. You know, it tells you in their text that all sorts of esoteric and occult connotations can be found in the outlines of their symbol. Well, that tells you, when you look at the definition of occult, only communicated to the initiated, and you look at the definition of esoteric, only understood by a select few with specialized knowledge and interest, then you understand that there's no way that the masses can understand this. So what they're hinting at is that they're using the 7 Hermetic principles against you in their steps to program your belief system. And it's the reason I do what I do, so I encourage you guys to stick around. Give me 2 minutes and let me go put my damn contacts in. Come on, Zig. Oh, never mind. All right, quicker than I thought it would be. Quicker than I thought it would be. Let's get the video unmirrored so y'all can see that I'm spreading you love and I'm trusting my purpose. This is what I teach. If you're new here, be sure and give me a follow. Consider subscribing. I do these videos every day to help those in recovery, to help homeless people. I was a homeless addict. Welcome in everybody that's joining. I was intravenously addicted to meth and heroin just 3 years ago. I was playing tug of war with my heart on a $300 a day habit. My name's Dan Wilkes, and I changed my life using neuroscience, using Hermetic principles, using the power of the mind in connection with the body. And so what I do here is I teach recovering addicts and anybody that wants to learn it how to apply power to your life, how to use your power as a human out of 8,700,000 species of plant and animal life on this earth that live and breathe. We humans, have the ability to think with free will, to use our prefrontal cortex, to position ourselves in time and space, and to use our words to communicate not only externally to other people, but internally to ourselves. So when you realize that the Word is God, and that God said, "Let there be light," then you realize it's what it's referring to as abracadabra. I create what I speak. And so today we're going to be going over the Kabbalion. Anybody ever heard of it? Comment down below if you've heard of the Kabbalion. Let's get it up. So the Kabbalion is a book written in 1908 by the 3 Initiates. It is based on the 7 Hermetic principles of Hermes Trismegistus. And here's an interesting fact about Hermes Trismegistus. Trismegistus means thrice made. So you understand where the beliefs of Christians and the Holy Trinity It's all an idea conceptualized by a civilization of people. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to analyze your beliefs. Why do you believe what you believe? Have you studied enough theology to know that what you believe is fact? Because here's the thing about facts. Whatever you let into your mind, it could be true or false. And if you let it in as a belief, it'll become real in your life. So no matter if it's false, no matter if it's untrue, it's a lie from the enemy, if you let it in and you say, oh, fuck, I believe, or we admit, then you are accepting that as part of your belief system. And so there's a playlist on my YouTube. If you subscribe to my YouTube, you go to my page, click the little YouTube icon. There's playlists there. There's many playlists. There's the TikTok lives. So I encourage you, subscribe to my YouTube, because if you miss a video of me going live here at the same time every day, then you can always catch it the next day on the YouTube channel. And on this YouTube, we have playlists of everything that changed my life. I started with sleep hypnosis as an addict living under a bridge, and I started listening to hypnosis while I sleep, when I did sleep. And it doesn't work automatically. You don't notice it. But what it does is it's thought that's entering into your head. And we always feel the way that we think. So if you don't have the right thoughts, if you're not attuned to the right frequency to get the connection of a positive thought, these program the thoughts into you. And you will feel the way that these affirmations on the sleep hypnosis make you, the way that you're thinking. So there's a playlist of sleep hypnosises, there's a playlist of meditations, there's a playlist of audiobooks that I've listened to over and over, and this is one of the audiobooks. I didn't understand it the first few times I listened to it. It's only a 4-hour audiobook, but I've listened to it many, many times. But now that I've studied more of the Gospel of Thomas, and I've started to dissect my own belief systems and what I believe and why, and I teach it here, then what's happened is I understand this more now. And now God has literally shown me, and from my own perception, that what I let into my consciousness is true. And so what that is I'm going to replace 12-step recovery with a program that works. This is the age we live in. The number 8. We just entered into an age where we have 8 billion people on earth. That's a very significant number. 8 in most cultures is a number of luck and fortune. Muslims believe there are 7 hells and 8 heavens. There are 8 petals on the lotus flower, and it's a beloved Buddhist symbol. 8. It's the number for infinity. And so what we have here are 2 8s that combine to make 1 8. 1 8 is not complete without the other 8, hence co-create. The eye is like the symbol, our symbol is an eye, like that, made like that, because if thine eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. The O is the oneness in the middle. The oneness is your vision of all the world that you live in, of yourself. It's the story that you give the world. And the 9 eyelashes up there on the eyelash are the 9 steps to the complete recovery blueprint, which is what I teach here. Step 1 through 9. I'm on step 9 myself. We work to monetize our passions to bring wealth and this vision to others. In order to do that, I have to become wealthy first. But that's what I'm working on. And that's to the part of the journey where I'm at. The rest of it is a process and practice of building habits around your passions. And that's the rest of it. But I teach it all here every single day. I encourage you, subscribe, and come back. I'm on a mission. Hey, brother, have you joined with ayahuasca yet? No. No, but I will. I'm actually trying to figure out how to get it here in the U.S., but from what I'm reading, you have to go to Brazil and perform, and you do a ceremony. But I use these. This is what I microdose with. It's legal in the state that I live in, so I'm not condoning any illegal activity. Don't misunderstand me or try to violate me for going against community guidelines. Welcome in, Angela. It's an exciting episode today. We're going to go over the Kabbalion. I'm going to try to the best of my ability to use my skill. So here, let me give you a little insight real quick. What I'm about here is habit mastery and building your habits. So The Complete Recovery Blueprint helps you determine what you love, what you're curious about, and what you want to master. And so during my process of doing the Complete Recovery Blueprint, I've learned that I love speaking and inspiring, and that I love creating podcasts. I've done podcasts and audiobooks and websites, and I've got everything about this brand. I've built it myself over the past 3 years, and I'm only getting better. And so everything about my life shows you that all you got to do is stop fucking complaining and start building habits. What do you like? Get out of the boat, Peter. Walk on the water. Get curious. Not right now, Mama Shark. And actually, that's a new rule. A new rule I've set is that you got to be a subscriber in order to go live with me. I'm introverted. I don't go live very often, and I know you support me. So usually I would say I only go. You got to subscribe because I got to know you support me. I know you support me, but yeah, consider subscribing, dude. I can't let you have it for free and then the other subscribers get it. You have to pay for it. So, yeah. So it's just a process. You see how I'm learning to build my business, build my brand. It's just taking study, practice. I've felt like an imposter for the past 3 years. I just now defeated imposter syndrome when I looked over my analytics of all the hundreds of people that are benefiting from what I'm putting out there. All you got to do is reflect. You think you're wasting your time? Look at your outcomes. Look at your results. For me, I was 130 pounds soaking wet. I was skin and fucking bone. I have never had this ever in my life. I have never felt as good inside as I do now. I've never been as confident as I am now. And it's all because I'm comfortable with myself. I love me so fucking much that I'm able to love my mother to the fullest extent. She was an amputee, and now she's walking again because of the love that we have between each other. The undying love that inspires her to get up and build habits. She hasn't walked in 7 years, and it's not easy, but she has to have the habits to support as a foundation. You have to set the fucking goal of doing it no matter what. No matter how you feel inside. This right here, this action, if I did this every day, there is nothing that anybody could do to bring me down from my cloud. So I choose to do these things. What is it for you? It's a blueprint. It's a complete recovery blueprint. But the very first step is we willingly commit to the daily pursuit of our own personal development, mental fortitude, spiritual growth, and emotional intelligence. If you commit to those 4 things, my friends, you'll never feel lonely again. You'll never worry about what Sally says again. You'll never be one of the ones that is brought down by the words of someone else. You will have literally a warrior's mindset towards the struggles, towards the negative aspects of life that are presented to you. You are an experiencer for the subjective universe. And you, my friend, have to LIVE and EVIL. You don't get to choose just the good. There's winter, then there's spring, then there's summer. Then everything dies off again, and then you have winter, dead. So, do you think summer all summer? Or is there a time for thinking, damn, winter is coming in 5 months. I need to prepare. And you can take that from nature, studying natural law. If it happens naturally in our world, it happens naturally inside of your body, inside of your circumstances, inside of your mind. So all you have to do is look out at nature. You want to know how you live in an abundant universe? Go outside and find me one of something. Go outside right fucking now with your device watching me live and try and spot one solo motherfucker. One something that's alone and doesn't have a like. You can't. You live in an abundant universe. They print more money every day. There's an abundance of stars in the sky, trees on the earth, grass, people, cars. You name it, there's an abundance of it. But if God gives you the money, best you learn how to use it. Because money is not to be spent. Money is a tool. With more money, you can help more people. Stop yelling. I'm sorry. It's passion, so don't get upset. You ever heard T.D. Jakes speak? Has he ever influenced your heart? Me, my life was changed because of Eric the hip-hop preacher Thomas, Wes Watson, and T.D. Jakes. All three men that don't give a fuck about the yelling in the microphone, and their words penetrated the depths of my heart. And it made me think and reflect and contemplate on my life until now I'm making the right decisions. So if you hear yelling from me, and you will, because I'm passionate about my message. And passion and anger are two ends of the same stick. The law of polarity. You'll learn some of that. Maybe not today. This is a 4-hour audiobook we're about to go over, but it's called The Kabbalion by the Three Initiates. And I'm going to try to the best of my ability to do what I've done with speaking. So how did I develop habits with speaking and delivering a message like this and staying on point and staying in flow? How did I do that? Well, it's a lot easier if you practice the mannerisms, the cadences, the inflections of other speakers. And so all I did was I took a pair of headphones and I put them in my ear. And then I listened to the speeches and I spoke them out loud with the same passion, with the same energy. I've got videos of it from 2 years ago. And this is the truth from my perspective. I've learned how to be a good speaker from practicing speaking in a mirror right here beside me, using the speeches of other people. Now I have my own message. I have never even written a speech, but I've got a lot of speech material because of how long I've been practicing. So let's do it. That's it. I told you that, a little insight, because that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to put on this audio book that I've been listening to for about 1.5 years on and off as I go to the gym. When I'm doing cardio, I listen to this book. It's the 7 Hermetic Principles. And if you weren't here at the start, I want to introduce to you what the ideas behind this. The 12 steps were written by students of the occult. Okay? It's in their own literature. They tell you right in front of you. I'll show you right now. Hang on. I mean, they're hiding right in front of you. It says it right there. Okay, anybody want to argue now? So now I'm going to show you what the fuck that means. Because they go, students of the occult. Well, there's only one occult. Literally, it stems from Hermes Trismegistus. He is the father of occultism. So the 7 Hermetic Principles, it's not a bad thing. It's not an evil thing. Occult does not mean evil. There are weapons and there are tools. Okay? This is being used as a weapon. It can be used as a tool. It's taken me many years to figure this out. Ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. What are you asking? Why is this happening to me, God? Why am I alone, God? Do you ask those? I'm asking. I want to know. Because you'll always get the answer to the questions that you ask. Thinking is a process of asking and answering questions. The hat? I'm so glad you like the hat. That's my logo for my life's mission. To replace 12-step recovery with Co-Create Oneness. Because Co-Create Oneness teaches powerfulness, not powerlessness. Because Co-Create Oneness is a network worldwide of coaches, of people that defeated their addiction and are treading the pathway to what? Wealth, prosperity. Because that's what happens when you defeat the lower self, and you evolve your ego, and you use that ego to help yourself make better decisions, the stressful struggle decisions that are really, really hard to make, but you make them anyway. So I have many different revenue streams. Thanks for the question. I have coaching. I'm an affiliate of many mushroom products. The things that I do for a living, they're on my link tree. If you want to be coached by me, $25 coaching sessions. You can have as many as you want a month, or you can commit to a program, and we'll talk about the price that's best for you. But I have many, many clients, and it's only growing. And now my coaching group, it had the vision is a worldwide network of coaches willing to help homeless people and addicts overcome their circumstances. What did they lack inside of this? Sponsors. They lack sponsors. The half of the rooms there court ordered, and they don't want to be there because they got a get out of jail free card. The other half are absolutely clueless because they've been going to these meetings for 10 years, 5 days a week, and it's all they fucking know. It's the dogmatic fucking beliefs that they repeat over and over and over again. There's no growth. There's no innovation. Why are we on iPhone 14 instead of a flip phone? Because of innovation. This program's been the same since the 1930s. Does that spell dogma to you? Dogma means a set of beliefs that is, when you try to prove it wrong, they don't let you. You're not allowed to try and argue against it. That's dogma. Indoctrination. And that's what this is. So, they used 7 Hermetic principles in the writing to program your belief system. How do I know that? Well, I'll show you. Because you got to look at the language. First off, in order, people have argued with me because it's written in past tense. It says were. No, you got to understand it from the position of the people speaking it, which is an anonymous group of people. So, where does it say? Where does it say that at? Hang on. This book is the shared experience of people in the fellowship. Look at that capitalized word right there. That's the Masonic order. The fellowship. Shared experience. Okay, so hundreds of unnamed addicts wrote this book. That's how you understand that. All right, so now you flip to the steps and you look at this. We admitted. Admission is required of subconscious programming. First, it comes through consciousness, and it becomes true in your life only after you accept it. Only after you admit it. Okay, so we admitted. Standing from the present tense in front of these people, it would be, we admit. Because this is what they did. So they're standing in front of you telling you, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction and our life is unmanageable. Step 1. Step 2, there's the key word right there, believe. They program your belief. Belief becomes reality. We came to believe that a power, look at that capitalized word there, that denotes power to the fucking anonymous fucking cult. Power, the fellowship. So we came to believe that the fellowship is greater than ourselves, but could restore us to sanity. And that, my friends, implies that you were what? Not only addicted, but insane. It implies that you were insane. And then they reiterate on that right here. They reiterated it right there. When they say, based on our experience, whose fucking experience? The anonymous cult's experience? We believe that every addict, including the potential addict, so you don't even got to be addicted yet, suffers. And you want to underline that word. Underline that word. Suffers from an incurable, meaning you can't fix it, a disease of body, not just the physical, but the subjective too, mind and spirit. You're fucked. You are fucked. And if you're court ordered, you better bring some headphones. You better plug your fucking ears because the subconscious mind never stops listening. And so these beliefs will become your own. And then so once they leave third person writing, talking about the anonymous fucking cult, they go back here and share the anonymous experiences and use first person. Let's look at some of those beliefs just really quick. No matter how many times you relapse, NA still takes you back. That's the NA program. Let me show you something about 12 steps. You know how many months are in your calendar? And you know you go from month 1 to month 12, and then you do what? You start back over again, and you got to work these steps throughout your entire life in order to have recovery. When recovery is supposed to have an end date. When you injure yourself, you recover from the injury. When you get a virus, you recover from the virus. If you get sick, you recover from the sickness. It's not supposed to last a fucking lifetime. No matter how many times you relapse, NA still takes you back. That's the NA program. Yeah, because you're programmed to fail. The key tag, it's an anchor to the last time that you used. You got your white key tag, congratulations. You know the exact last time that you got high and felt amazing off that high. This book helps you focus on shortcomings, moral inventory, what you did wrong, who you fucked over, and blah, 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 blah. Blue, the color of sadness. The black blues players sing about what? Sadness, the blues. Color frequency. The writing, the material for NA used to be yellow and white pamphlets. I wonder what kind of anonymous cult got a hold of the program and forced Dr. Bill and Jimmy Kennan to fucking turn this into their Library of Congress. The goddamn Library of Congress. So what you have is the Masonic order that runs this country said, you can't fucking teach our people that, and you're going to do it this way. And how do you know that that's true? The one, it tells you that this book is in the Library of Congress. And then, two, you look at the doctor's opinion. The doctor's opinion is written because an anonymous group of people that don't have your trust are telling you what they believe. And in order to validate that belief, they have to establish trust. And how do you establish trust? Through writing a doctor's opinion. And the doctor tells you he specialized in the treatment of alcohol for many, many years. And he also tells you that as part of this rehabilitation, you have to present these conceptions. Conceptions are of the subconscious. Conceptions to other alcoholics, impressing upon them that they must do otherwise. That they must do otherwise. There is no choice. And then up here, after he gets done writing the letter, guess what? The physician who, at our request, I wonder what kind of request it was. I wonder how many times you said, please write this. I wonder if you held a gun to his head to make your request. You got to realize they just established your trust, and now they're going to indoctrinate you with their belief system. And that's how the program works. So if I've hooked you in, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to make some great content out of that. That was an amazing flow of energy, because God speaks through me the same way He can speak through you if you ask Him and connect to the source. It's an energy. It's a brainwave state. A flow state is a gamma brainwave state. Right now, you're in beta consciousness. You're completely focused, but you're aware. The more you relax, the further down the scale you drift into delta, alpha, and theta. When you're asleep at night, the door to the subconscious mind is open. And that's why on my page right now, you'll find an addiction recovery sleep hypnosis. And if you'll comment your email or send me a direct message with your email, I'll send you the MP3 for free so that you can listen to it as you sleep at night and program yourself with the 22 affirmations of power. The same affirmations that changed my life and that my behavior and feeling now mimic. First, it comes as thought. And thinking and feeling are an interconnected loop. And you'll always feel the way that you think, and you'll always think the way that you feel. But how do you interrupt that? You, my dear human, have the ability to communicate. You can speak language. Out of all the species of Earth, you have the combination of biology and neurocircuitry that allow you to form language. It requires your memory, and it requires your creativity. Both things come from the divine intelligence. So you just got to you got to interrupt the loop with your words. You got to use your words. And that's why I have that sleep hypnosis available to you. Use it for 5 to 6 months every night when you go to sleep. And I guarantee you the behaviors of someone that aligns with that thinking will follow because of neuroscience. You have to say it over and over again. Every morning while you're brushing your teeth, you have to repeat them. You're still in a brainwave state of theta when you wake up in the morning. The door is still open right when you get really, really drowsy before you go to sleep, and right when you wake up in the morning, before you start your day, before you ascend into beta consciousness. And when you enter a flow state, when you're being used by the divine, this is called gamma. And it's when you actually feel electrified, like my entire body is shaking right now. But notice that I have the breath. I'm not running out of breath. The energy is supplied to me to preach the message that God has put on my heart. The mind of man is the mouth of God. But here's the thing. God can be Satan. God can be the enemy. It depends on what you tune to. L-I-V-E or E-V-I-L. Are you playing from a place of having not? Or are you praying from a place of those that have? Those that have, like my tagline. From a place of having. Do you pray from, I'm broke, God, please fix me. I'm sick, God, please heal me. I have no money, God, please bless me. Do you pray from that place, or do you pray from a place of thanksgiving for the things that you have not yet seen in your life? But by faith or fear, you pray. By faith or fear, you send your prayers to the ether. What frequency are you attuned to? All right, so my headphones went off again. All right, let's get into this book. I'm going to try to do this for an hour. I'm going to keep the pause button right in front of me so that if you comment something you don't understand, it's a weirdly written book. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm going to be pausing and going and pausing and making notes. I need to make notes. I'm writing a book about this, you guys. The Complete Recovery Blueprint is the next book that I will write. I've already written one. That was my first awakening to, wow, this is real. I put it in a sleep hypnosis. The behaviors came. I wrote the book. I sent it to one publisher. The publisher sent me an email reply back in 3 days. So he read a 50,000 word book in 3 days. That's impressive. That's impressive. You must have liked the book. You must have really enjoyed my writing. And he wrote me back a letter that said, your story is an amazing, your book is an amazing story of upheaval and renewal. We would love to have it as a part of the Dorrance list of titles. Awake. I was like, this is actually fucking real. And that is, when that happened, I committed to this 100%. In my routine, in my meditations, in my content, everything else was built around this first. I've had many jobs over the past few years. I got up, did workout, meditation, reading, journaling, and TikTok before I ever went into work. The vision is your foundation of your recovery. It's what you stand upon that gets you from step 1, addicted, to step 9, recovered. Who hurt me in the rooms? It's actually, no one hurt me. I'm a lone wolf. I'm unhurtable. But it's actually a process that awakened me to the darkness inside of the light, and how to be the light inside of the darkness. I cut my hand off almost, my thumb off. I almost cut my thumb off, and my company sent me to rehab. And I was searching for a way to go to rehab. And all I could find on the first 8 pages of Google was 12-step programs, Samsha, which is a hotline that'll point you to a 12-step program, and then $40,000 to $60,000 rehabs that I couldn't afford to go to. So I just felt fucked, and I kept living the way I was living. Eventually, I cut my hand. Company sent me to rehab. I already knew about Dr. Joe Dispenza, about neuroscience, about epigenetics, and I was telling it all about what I thought of in these meetings. 2 days sober, in there sharing my experience, and all these old heads, they eventually, after about 3 days, came to me and was like, you got to stop sharing that stuff. And that was the first strike, the first slap. And then a few days later, after I refused to stop, with a little bit of passion mixed with anger in my sharing, they pulled me aside and said, if you want to continue with this program for the next 26 days and get your certificate to take to your boss, you got to shut up. And eventually, and another old school dude said, you'll be back here, man. And that was strike two. You'll be back if you believe that way. You're going to get someone killed for believing that way. I went to bed that night and I asked what my understanding of God was. Use me. Use me to fucking... I know how I can tip the karmic scale, God. Use me. Use me to fucking trample this underfoot because I know, I feel. Feeling is the secret. I feel that this is entrapment, that this is enslavement, that this is false, that this is deception. And I will devote my life to destroying it. You know what's funny? I watched a video about Andrew Tate and how he's cracking the matrix, right? And I fucking love what he's doing. He's exposing him. And even them arresting him in Romania did not stop anything. It just amplified it. It threw fuel on the fire, baby. And so what that shows you is they have nothing to hold against him. And so I can only imagine, like, my web browser history from 2 years ago, or if they found out my deep dark sexual fantasies that every fucking one has, or if they, like, everything that they could try to bring to the surface to try and throw in my face. I was molested as a child and I was raped in jail, and it's like all these things that I'm now free of. They would try to hold those against me, but guess what? I'm a fucking warrior! And you can't stop me. You can't stop me. I've got the universe behind me. I'm awake to the laws of the universe. Go fuck yourself, bro. You come from a place of hurting, man. You come from a place of hurting. I forgive you, but you can stick around, but you won't have a voice here anymore. All right, dude. Yeah, come on. Let's do this. You guys got to realize, man, you're powerful. Let me hint to you. Join the WhatsApp community. It's an end-to-end encrypted group messaging app, and it's amazing. It's free. And we have almost 90 participants in there that are committed to the vision of co-create oneness, loving and encouraging and supporting one another every single day. We do what's called a roll call. And so, you know how meetings have a group sharing procedure? You don't need a brick and mortar building and egotistical 30-year veterans to keep you from sharing. You know, you don't have to wait your turn to share. Inside of an online community with the power of the internet, you can. All you got to do is share. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to get loved on. And the rules are this. If you haven't overcome adversity that someone voices, you don't give advice. But there is a way to love, even if you can't give advice. You can show compassion and empathy. And through that, we're growing rapidly. And everybody's on board. And we've been a family for a year and a half, a lot of us. About 30% of us, 20 or 30 people have been together for about a year and a half. Learning, growing, and evolving. Dave's in here. Dave's been there. And in the group environment, you do roll calls. So how do you share with the group? Well, you don't talk about your fucking problems, because language is creative. And you think that you're describing your circumstances, but you're prescribing them to the subconscious mind, because it's always listening. And it only accepts what you speak, what you think, what you let through the gate of your consciousness. Abracadabra, I create what I speak. Jesus says, by your words you are justified, by your words you are condemned. Jesus was a teacher. He was connected to the Father. He never said, I am God. He was connected to the energy. He always referenced the Father within. I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I. What he's saying is, I and my Father are one, but I and my habits are one, but my habits are greater than I. Your subconscious mind is the heart inside your chest. It operates independently of the brain with a circuit of neurons numbering in the 40,000s. So there's 40,000 neurons inside of your heart. They think by feeling. They're called sensory neurites. Literally, feeling brain cells. That's in control of your emotions. That's why you can't control your emotions. It's a subconscious program. But you can use the perpetual transmutation of energy, what we're about to learn in the next week, and evolve that to transmute that lower energy into higher energy. It's an amazing process. And once you start to master it, I'm not a master yet, because I still procrastinate, but I'm getting them in check, and it's an amazing journey to look back at who you were and see all the progress you've made. And that's what I want for you, my friends. Join the WhatsApp community. We do roll calls in the sharing. That's what I was saying. We do roll calls. So you talk about your victories, your failures, what you're focused on for the day, any fear, because you got to rid your body and mind of fear, so you get it out in the group. Anything that you're anxious about, you put it in the group, and watch what happens when you do that. So many people are going to love on you. It's going to be the exact opposite of what most people experience inside of a 12-step room. When you have 100 introverted people that are just scared to love and damaged, right? I'm introverted and I'm damaged, and it's hard for me to be like this in front of people. You know what it is? It's not hard in an online community. It's very easy to be extroverted when you're introverted in an online community. Especially when you notice over a span of months that nobody has made fun of you. Nobody has made you feel like shit. Nobody has guilted you or shamed you. It means a lot. All right, we got 1.5 hours to dive in to the Kabbalion. Hey, Mom. I saw you sneak in here. Y'all, my mom's here. She's Dan Wilk's mom. I got my mama on board supporting me. She just said, she just told Ziggy a while ago, come on in here. Brother's got to go to work. You can tell yourself that. God loves you. You are God. That's my response to that. You and God are one. The way that you tell God that you love Him is not through words, because the universe, it doesn't speak English. It speaks frequency. So the message that you use for your own understanding is the reason why language does work and why it's creative, is because of your own understanding of the language. And when you use it at a certain frequency, i.e. your emotions, that's how the prayer gets heard. I can give you a very good example of this. I dropped to my knees after I got out of jail the last time that I went to jail, and I didn't even go to jail. They took me to a hospital and gave me a ticket to be in court. But when I got home, I had been up for 4 days on meth, and it was combined with all these other things, and I was coming down, but I felt a presence. And I watched a few videos online of Jake Ducey, this speaker, and he taught me exactly what I'm telling you about prayer. A video, it's even on my page. I do edit a video of him and says, this is the Jake Duce's video that changed my life. It's one of my pieces of content. And he showed me that I'm praying from a place of having not. So I dropped to my knees and emotionally yelled out, God, use me. And he started using me. Like it was a very, very teary-eyed, energy electrified moment where I felt energy flowing through my body while I was praying. And when I got done, it's not like the other prayers that I've prayed where I felt alone. I felt the presence of an energy that's there to guide me. And then from then on, I kept seeing synchronicities. Synchronicities. How do you see synchronicities? Well, there's numbers, of course, but there's also relationships. Like my coach, Joe Peoples, has a son, and his son invented a thing and got got his idea. He's in work. He's fucking collaborating with Davison, and I am too. It's a company, an invention company. We're both in research and development now with our inventions. That's a synchronicity. You could see 222s all the time. Like I was living at 222 Shady Oak Grove, and now I'm living at 2221 South Prairie. It's a synchronicity. It's the universe's way of showing you every time you see them that you're on path. Go a few days without seeing a synchronicity. I feel in my soul, might not be true for you. This is my observation. The days where I don't see synchronicities are the days where I'm off. I'm playing video games too much. I'm procrastinating. I'm burnt out and I'm exhausted and I'm not working. That's the days I don't see any synchronicities. Any other day when I'm doing my routine and I'm doing my TikToks and I'm making the content, I see 222, I see 333, 444. I even see 33 a lot here lately. It's been showing, and that's 33 vertebrae in the spine. It's a very significant number. All right, enough. I'm scared to do this because but I'm going to move through the fear. Well, okay. All right, so this book is called The Kabbalion, and it's about the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, which are older than any other thing around here. And it's the occult teachings that are used to enslave you inside of a 12-step recovery program. Audiobooks. This book is for free on the playlist on my YouTube channel. I have a playlist of other people's content, and it's called Audiobooks. This book is in the public domain. So somebody has very generously narrated this video, this audiobook, and it's very well put together. And so that's what I'll be listening to in this headphone, trying to speak it out loud enough to be understood, and take a few notes. Just a second, let me get a pen. Right behind me. Okay. All right. Chapter 1. Okay. All right, here we go. Chapter 1. The Hermetic Philosophy. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. The Kabbalion. From old Egypt have come the fundamental esoteric and occult teachings that have so strongly influenced the philosophies of nations, races, and peoples for several thousand years. Egypt, the home of the pyramid and the Sphinx, was the birthplace of his hidden wisdom. From the secret doctrines all nations have borrowed. India, Persia, Media, China, Japan, Syria, ancient Greece and Rome, and other ancient countries partook liberally at the feast of knowledge from Hermes Trismegistus. I'm summarizing also. In ancient Egypt dwelt the great adepts and masters who have never been surpassed, and seldomly have been equaled to the saviors that we know in our own religions. So what it's telling you is that it's all stemming from ancient, age-old beliefs and teachings from Hermes Trismegistus, which is the founder of alchemy, the founder of astronomy, which is now astrology. Alchemy is now chemistry, and many more schools of thought came from Hermes Trismegistus and his teachings. And so students of these teachings are known as students of the occult. only communicated to the initiated. Meaning you have to be very, very, very into this stuff and want to study it in order to be initiated and understand it. It takes deep, deep contemplation and study. I want to rewrite it. It's in the public domain, and it's written in 1908 language. This man dwelt in Egypt in the earliest days. He was known as Hermes Trismegistus. He was the father of the occult wisdom, the founder of astrology, the discoverer of alchemy, and the details of his life story are lost to history owing to the lapse of the years, though several of the ancient countries disputed with each other their claims of the honor of having furnished his birthplace. So this has been thousands of years that people have been using his teachings. Although it's not known when his last incarnation on this planet is known, but it has been fixed at the oldest dynasties of Egypt, long before the days of Moses. The best authorities regard him as a contemporary of Abraham, and some of the Jewish traditions go far as to claim that Abraham acquired a portion of his mystic knowledge from Hermes himself. As the years rolled by from after his passing from this plane of life, tradition recorded that he lived 300 years in the flesh. The Egyptians deified Hermes and made him one of their gods under the name of Thoth. Years after, the people of ancient Greece also made him one of their gods, calling him Hermes, the god of wisdom. And let me just throw my own thoughts in there. If you study Christianity, there is the Trinity. And there's this feeling inside of me that they made gods out of this. And was Yeshua trying to teach us how to be connected to the Father, or was he trying to claim that he was God? The latter is what I believe. And how else to deceive an entire nation, an entire civilization, but to take the teachings that nobody understands, that is only communicated to the initiated, and put them into the form of a religion, and then create sin out of good and evil, and all of these things that make you fearful instead of faithful. The Egyptians revered his memory for many centuries, yes, tens of centuries, calling him the scribe of the gods, and bestowing upon him distinctively his ancient title, Trismegistus, which means the thrice great, the great great, the greatest great, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, right? In all ancient lands, the name of Hermes Trismegistus was revered, the name being synonymous with the fount of wisdom. Even to this day, we use the term hermetic in the sense of secret, sealed, so that nothing can escape, etc. And this by reason of the fact that the followers of Hermes always observed the principles of secrecy in their teachings. They did not believe in casting pearls before swine, but rather held to the teaching milk for babes, meat for strong men, both of which maxims are familiar to readers of Christian scripture. But both have been used by the Egyptians for centuries, before the Christian era. This policy of dissemination of the truth is deceitful, to say the least. It's deceitful. But it's a weapon or a tool. It's a weapon or a tool. Occult teachings are not evil. Occult teachings help you get in tune with the all. The universe is mental. And once you understand that and you practice these 7 hermetic principles in your life, we'll be going over it for the next week, you'll understand why you feel at times that the world's working against you, but it's because of cause and effect. A linear path. The clouds are not going to open up and drop a big bag of money in your lap. You got to do something. The Hermetic teachings are to be found in all lands and all religions, but never identified with a particular country or a particular sect. This is because of the warning of the ancient teachers against allowing the secret doctrine to become crystallized into a creed. The wisdom of this caution is apparent to all students of history. The ancient occultism of India and Persia degenerated and was lost, owing to the fact that the teachers became priests. And so it's theology, and so mixed theology with philosophy. Wow. And so that's the same thing that's happened with the church. They took the occult, which is supposed to be secret. You're supposed to want to be a student of it in order to learn. And they made priests out of it. And the priests now use that occult power over you. Through religions and dogma. So it was the teachings of the Gnostics which were lost at the time of Constantine, whose firm hands smothered the theology with a blanket. This is so hard to follow. Like literally, the Templars, Constantine, the Inquisition. Makes sense. Now you can see the church is struggling to get back to its ancient mystic teachings. But there were always a few faithful souls that kept the flame alive, tending it carefully and not allowing its light to become extinguished. And thanks to these staunch hearts and fearless minds, we have the truth still with us. But it is not found in books to any great extent. It has been passed along from master to student, from initiate to hierophant, from lip to ear. When it was written down at all, its meaning was veiled in terms of alchemy and astrology, so that only the ones that possessed the key could read it or write it. This is made necessary in order to avoid the persecutions. Let's repeat that. This was made necessary in order to avoid the persecutions of the theologians of the Middle Ages, who fought the secret doctrine with fire and sword, stake, gibbet, and cross. Even to this day, there will be found but a few reliable books on the Hermetic philosophy, although there are countless references to it on books written about it. You're not going to find many. And here, the Hermetic philosophy is the only master key that will open up the occult teachings. In the early days, there was a compilation of certain Hermetic doctrines passed on from teacher to student, which was known as the Kabbalion. The exact significance of the term having been lost to history. This teaching, however, is known to many to whom has it descended from mouth to ear, on and on, throughout the centuries. Its precepts have never been written down or printed, so far as we know, until now, with the collection provided here in the Kabbalion. So it's not understandable to outsiders, but readily understood by students, after the axioms, maxims, and precepts have been explained and understood by the student. So it doesn't make sense to you at first, but as you continue to study it, it makes more and more sense, and you see it through the actions and circumstances in your life. The legends of the Philosopher's Stone, which would turn base metal into gold, is an allegory related to Hermetic philosophy, readily understood by all students of true Hermeticism. In this little book, of which this is the first lesson, we invite our students to examine the Hermetic teachings as set forth in the Kabbalion and as explained by ourselves, humble students of the teachings, who, while bearing the title of initiates, are still students at the feet of Hermes, the Master. We herein give you many of the maxims, axioms, and precepts of the Kabbalion, accompanied by explanations and illustrations which we deem likely to deem the teachings more understandable by the modern student. Wow. Comment down below what you're thinking. I would love to know. All right, fast forwarding. The teaching. Oh. Just a sec. Whew. Sweating. Chapter 2. The 7 Hermetic Principles. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. What temple? If the two make peace in this one house, in this temple, then you can say to the mountain, move away, and it will move away. The door to the temple is the gate of your consciousness. And if you understand this, and you start to apply it to your life, the results that you're seeing in my life, for those of you that's been following me for 3 years, you'll have the same results. I'm eager to hear about your accomplishments and accolades and results that come from you waking up to your power. I imagine it'd probably be in the form of, Dan, you posted that video or something, but the credit is not given to me. I learned this from other people living their truth. It's just a ripple effect. I love myself, and because of that, I'm able to love other people to the fullest extent of my ability. Hope you got your pen and pad. Let's get started. The 7 Hermetic Principle. I boo-booed. So the 7, damn it. Number 1, the principle of mentalism. 2, the principle of correspondence. 3, the principle of vibration. 4, the principle of polarity. 5, the principle of rhythm. 6, the principle of cause and effect. 7, the principle of gender. These 7 principles will be discussed and explained as we proceed with these lessons. A short explanation of each may as well be given at this point. 1, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. The Kabbalion. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations of physical matter and appearances that we know of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses is spirit. Pause there. How do we know that? How do we know it's spirit? Under a microscope, if you look into a subatomic particle that makes up an atom, it is comprised of 99.999999999% empty space. That space is the spirit that encompasses us all. We are 90% spiritual and 10% matter. And in short, all that is apparent to our material senses is spirit, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite, living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole and in its parts or units has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live, move, and have our being. Hey, what's up, Ashley? This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, without which explanation are non-understandable. They defy scientific treatment. Sorry, I keep messing up. An understanding of this great Hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the mental laws of the universe and to apply the same to his well-being in advancement. Whew, that's good. Oh, that's really good, man. It's exciting. The Hermetic student is able to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner, like the 12 steps. With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how all these are subordinate to the mastery of mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ages ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." Let's pause there. In the Gospel of Thomas, it opens with this line. He who understands the interpretation of this writing shall not taste death. Similar. These words are as true today as the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. 2. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. The Kabbalion. This principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and light. In life. Being and life. Huh. Wow. The old Hermetic axiom ran in these words: as above, so below. As below, so above. And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many a dark paradox in the hidden secret of nature. There are planes beyond our knowing, but when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that would be not knowable to us. Come on, speak plainly. He speaks in code sometimes. What's up, Delphi? To us. This principle is of the universal application and manifestation on the various planes of the material, mental, and spiritual universe. It is a universal law. The ancient Hermetists consider this principle one of the most important mental instruments by which man can use to pry aside the obstacles which hid from view the unknown. Its use even Taurus... let's fast forward. We don't need to know about that just yet. You're a part of I'm teaching here. So, and I'm not really teaching. I'm sharing what changed my life. What do you want to know? What do you mean? I don't even know. I encourage you to take notes. Just as the knowledge of the principles of geometry enables man to measure distant suns in their movement while seated in the observatory, so a knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. Studying the monad, he understands the archangel. 3. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. The Kabbalion. Sorry. I'm really sweating right now, and it's getting on my nerves. And of course, I changed the video. Shut your mouth. The ancients possessed a knowledge of transcendental astronomy, called astrology, of transcendental chemistry, called alchemy. Transcendental chemistry, called alchemy. They possessed the inner knowledge as well as the outer knowledge, the latter alone being possessed by modern scientists. Among the many secrets of knowledge possessed by the Hermetists was that known as mental transmutation, which forms the subject matter of this lesson. Transmutation is usually a term employed to the deathly art of changing metals, particularly of changing base metals into gold. The word transmute, it means to change from one nature or form into another form or substance, to transform. And accordingly, it's okay, Brendan. It's totally okay, bro. To transform. Mental transmutation means the art of changing and transforming states, forms, and conditions into another, so that you may see that mental transmutation is the art of mental chemistry, if you like the term, a form of practical mystic psychology. But this means far more than it appears on the surface. Transmutation, alchemy, or chemistry on the mental plane is important enough in its effects to be sure. But if we aren't stopped there, it would still be one of the most important branches of study known to man. Transmutation inside of our own minds. Let's see why. The first of the 7 Hermetic principles is the law of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This means that the underlying reality of the universe is mind, and the universe itself is mental. That is existing in the mind of the all. We shall consider this principle in succeeding lessons, but let us see the effect of the principle if it be assumed to be true. Assumed to be true. If the universe is mental in its nature, then mental transmutation must be the art of changing the conditions of the universe along the lines of matter, force, and mind. So you see, therefore, that mental transmutation is really the magic of which the ancient writers had so much to say in their mystical works, and about which they gave so few practical instructions. If all be mental, then the art which enables one to transmute lower into higher, it must be the... Fuck. See, I'm having to take his language that they used in like the 19th century, 1900s, and speak it in a way where it's understandable by us, using slang and modern day words. Thank you, Celeste. The goal for me of making this content is that I go back over it and I'm writing a book about this. So it's helping me not only memorize and communicate. Right now, all kinds of stars are going off in my head. And I know after another listen to this in private, when I can take notes, I'll write all kinds of content around this. So I'm going to get this into a form for everyone to be able to consume and understand. Thanks, Angela. Thank you for supporting me. If all be mental, then the art which enables one to transmute mental conditions must render the master the controller of material positions. What he's saying is that if you understand it and you understand mental alchemy, that you can take those negative thoughts in your head and you can transmute them into positive thoughts, that then will create better actions for yourself. It will, in response to the electrical thought, create a chemical feeling, which is your emotions. That's what he's saying. The reason you feel bad when you feel depressed and anxious is because of unconscious thoughts spinning around in your head. Basoganglia and the amygdala are the controllers of this anxious network of neurons that spins around unconsciously. You don't even know it's happening. And it comes from all of your fears and your anxiety. Thank you so much, Celeste. Your fears, your anxieties, the things that you believe about yourself. Oh, I don't look good, or I'm fat, or people don't like me, or I'm not good at remembering names, or I'm bad at math. All these things, that's fear inside of your basal ganglia. What he's talking about is transmuting that into more positive thought, using the law of correspondence. Everything can be transmuted from lower and higher. Everything, every single thing is connected. Good is evil. Evil is good. They're just two ends of the same spectrum. Anger and passion, same shit. Love and hate, same shit. Here go my lips again, man. Waiting on them to quit speaking in code. So such men exist and do exist today that are masters of these 7 Hermetic principles. I intend to become a master. But the masters exist, and they have these powers. For instance, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus. There's one from Greece. There's one from Persia. The people that understood these principles, applied them to their life, and moved mountains. Let me ask you something. Do you think that Alexander the Great, or Hitler, or anybody that people have followed suit of, do you think they had an understanding of these principles? The master can't teach the student unless he's a master. But they can be used for good or evil. These masters cannot make public Ooh! That's a tie! That's a tie! That's a tie! Page 46. All right, pause there. Let me pull out this book to see if I'm right, and y'all can be the judge with me. See if there's a connection here. Hang on. Hang on. Come on, man. Find it. Businessman. It says something about businessmen here. Just one second. Maybe I'm reading too soon. Maybe it's before. Just one second. Yep. Boom. So, it is important that we remain anonymous because we are too few at present to handle the overwhelming number of personal appeals which may result from the publication of this book. Being mostly business or professional folk, we could not well carry on our occupations in such an event because of all the judgment. Bullshit! Bullshit! You got secrets, motherfucker, that you're using against people, and I'm going to expose it.
Here.
What?
Chapstick.
I got some right here. I've already used it. Thank you. Love you. Thank you for helping. All right, let's continue with this then. See if I'm right. Here we go. These masters cannot make public exhibitions of their power. I'll do it again. I can't stutter. These masters cannot make public exhibitions of their powers, but seek seclusion from the crowds of men in order to better work their way along the path of attainment. That path of attainment could be to indoctrinate you and use these powers against you. These are powers that they're using. They've taken a conceptualized idea, which is the ability of you, and they've put it into a program. And now this program is a part of the Masonic Order's Library of Congress. And they're pumping it into the minds of the masses through the criminal justice system. And so when you start at the bottom with people that don't believe much, because if they believed in themselves a lot, think about yourself when you were an addict. Did you believe very much in prosperity and that your life was going to get better? No, you wouldn't use then. If you had faith instead of fear, there wouldn't be any reason to numb yourself. So they start with the people that are most vulnerable, the criminals, the homeless people. And they get them into the rooms and they indoctrinate them with this. Their power is entirely mental. It operates along the higher mental transmutation of the Hermetic principle of mentalism. The universe is mental. The Kabbalion. Remember that. The universe is mental. But students and Hermetists, the initiates and teachers of this, motherfucker, this is hard. Students and Hermetists of lesser degrees than masters, the initiates and teachers, they're able to freely work along the mental plane and use mental transmutation as a tool. All that we call psychic phenomena, mental influence, mental science, new thought phenomena, etc. It operates along the same general lines. For there is but one principle involved. No matter by what name the phenomena be called, it is called the law of mentalism. I found a mistake in his audiobook. He just repeated that twice. Need an editor. Welcome in, Ashley. I didn't even see you sneak in. What's up, Morgie? We're going over the 7 laws of mentalism today. We're talking about the Kabbalion. Stick around, take some notes. I'm really hot, dude. Really hot, bro. All right, let's move on to the next one. Whew. Come on, hotness mama, is the heat off? Turn the fucking heat off. Okay? All right. Chapter 4. The All. Under and back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found the substantial reality, the fundamental truth, the Kabbalion. Substance means that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing in itself, etc. Substantial means actually existing, being the essential element, being real, etc. Reality means the state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent, and actual. Under and behind all outward appearances or manifestations, there must always be a substantial reality, a state of being. Man, considering the universe of which he is a unit, sees nothing but changing matter, forces, and mental states. He sees that nothing really is, but that everything is becoming and changing. Nothing stands still. Everything is being born, growing, dying. The very instant of a thing reaching its height, it begins declining. The law of rhythm is in constant operation. There is no reality, enduring quality, fixity, or substantiality in anything. Nothing is permanent but change. He sees all things evolving from other things and resolving into other things, a constant action and reaction, inflow and outflow, building up and tearing down, creation and destruction, birth and growth, growth, and death. Nothing endures but change. Birth, growth, and death. Nothing endures but change. And if he be a thinking man, he realizes that all of these changing things must be but outward appearances or manifestations of some underlying power, some substantial reality. All thinkers and all messed up. All thinkers and all lands and at all times have assumed the necessity for postulating the existence of substantial reality. All philosophies worthy of the name have been based upon this thought. Men have given to this substantial reality many names. Some have called it by the term deity under many titles. It's been called a deity. Others have called it the infinite, the intelligent. The infinite and eternal energy. Others have tried to call it matter, but all have acknowledged its existence. It is self-evident. It needs no argument. In these lessons, we have followed the example of some of the world's greatest thinkers, both ancient and modern, Hermetic masters. They've all called this underlying power a substantial reality. By the Hermetic name of the All, which term we consider the most comprehensive of the many terms applied to man. Speak plainly, motherfucker! Fuck. What is this? I gotta rewrite this. What I'm being told right now is it's in the public domain. You have legal authority to take it and turn it into a fucking language that everybody can understand. There's the reason why I chose to do this today. Because the universe is guiding me. And the universe says, hey, you ain't seeing the big picture yet, but as soon as you get on here and try to fucking talk about this shit and listen to it and speak it and see how hard it is, you're going to realize that what I'm trying to communicate to you, that nobody can understand this shit and that you got to rewrite it in a modern day language, in a 21st century language that everyone can understand. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to pause there. I'm going to take the first chapter. My homework for tonight is going to be going over the first two laws that we've just covered, the law of mentalism and the law of correspondence. I'm going to come up with a few examples from history, a few ideas of my own, and I'm going to present them to you guys live tomorrow. That's how you do that. I'm glad that is happening. I think I've tried to do this on a live before, and I failed because it's the language. Let's listen to it real quick. The
unknowable. They regard all the theories, guesses, and speculations of the theologians and metaphysicians regarding the inner nature of the all as but the childish efforts of mortal minds to grasp the secret of the infinite.
It's really hard to follow. All right, there's only 3 of us in here. That's good. What are you guys going through? There's Brandon. There's Angela. Who else? Celeste? Let's see. Diamond Dave. All co-creators in here. I'm not disappointed. At first I was disappointed. You know that I'll keep fucking up and it's not as flawless as you wanted it to be. But now I see why God's having me do this. That book is in the public domain, but nobody really knows about the book. And I imagine people don't read the book because it's so fucking hard to read. It's really, really hard to read. We got to use modern day language to understand these things. Fuck yeah. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. Celeste. Are you in the WhatsApp group, or is there a reason that you're not? I would love to see you in there. We're a growing community, and everyone else can love on you just as much as I do, and it feels greater when it's accumulated love. Okay. I am taking notes, but I only got the first part because my mind had me journal some stuff. That's great. That's great. Yes, of course. The link to it is on my page. I need our group to be as diverse as possible. Also, I want to say this: there are people that attack me in ways that if I had a diverse, as we do, we have India, we have Zambia, we have Ireland, we have Scotland, we have UK, we have America, and growing. And soon we'll have some people that choose to be gay, some people that choose to be lesbian, some people that choose to be transgender. Any of that, it's all welcome, as long as you're focused on what you want and how to manifest that shit. All right, dudes. That's all I got for today, man. I'm going to get my ass to work. There's a lot of work to be done. And so be sure and check out the lives from previous. I've been on a roll the past 5 days. And so you want to go to YouTube if you've missed any and check them out. There's about 5 posted right now. Don't forget to visit the website. It's got our store up. You can pay for merch with Afterpay, meaning you can make 4 payments of $5 to get a shirt, to get a hat, and you can support the brand and the vision, and you can wear the merchandise. And when people ask you, what the fuck, that's a cool ass logo. What is Co-Create Oneness? You can tell them all about it, and you can point them in this direction. Yeah, of course. Dude, I believe you are. We all are. And we need your wisdom and teachings in there, Celeste Divine. What's your name? What's your name? So I try to remember. I'm not going to use my words against me this time. The logo sold you? Fuck yeah, dude. Celeste. Cool. Celeste Divine. I get it. Cool. Beautiful name. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time. If you're in the West, that's 9 a.m. You're in the center, that's 11 a.m. So meet me back here. I'll be more prepared today with my own notes on the first 2 laws of mentalism. I love you. You're full of amazing, unlimited potential. Go away, burp. You're full of unlimited potential, and you have gifts that the world is waiting to benefit from. Go out and make it your mission to spread love and light, and don't forget to give those gifts. I love you. You're amazing, and I hope that you have an equally amazing day. See ya.